Today we're going to talk about personalized learning, how you can use ChatGPT to tailor your education to meet your individual needs or your students' individual needs, and how AI can create an effective learning environment. So first we'll talk about what is personalized learning, and then we'll talk about an overview of how it works in the modern education system. Um, Let me first say that I believe strongly that we're going to see more and more personalized learning roll out as opposed to what we have today, which is centralized schools. And, as we get further and further down this AI trail, I think that personalized learning is actually going to become the trend, the way people learn. So let's talk more about it. Why personalized learning will benefits are humongous. It's student centric. In other words, focused on the student and not a group of students. So it's focused on an individual student. It provides flexible pacing so the student can move as fast or as slow as they need, and the content can be customized to meet the student's needs. Some key aspects of personalized learning include student autonomy. In other words, the student can learn on their own. They don't have to be in a classroom with a whole bunch of students, a whole bunch of other people. The instruction can be differentiated based on the student's needs, and you can do continuous assessment. So you can get rid of this idea of having one big test and assess regularly based on the student's uh, achievements. The key aspects include student autonomy. So here's an example of personalized learning in math. Um, Tailoring math lessons. Here's a sample prompt for a student that's struggling in algebra. And you'll notice that what they're doing is they're creating a personalized algebra lesson plan for a ninth grader. You'll see that you can actually combine this with some other uh, prompts to make this even more tailored, and you'll see that as we go along. Here's personalized learning in literature. So customized reading material, student interested in fantasy literature. So, the student can learn to read based on what they're interested in, as opposed to everybody reading the same thing. So here's the prompt: recommend uh, books for a student interested in fantasy that is reading at a seventh grade level. So if you have a 10th grader that reads the seventh grade level, you can get ChatGPT to literally create a book that student can read. So it's personalized to the student's talents and helps them move forward in their learning. The role of technology. In ed tech, you can use adaptive learning platforms. Uh, you'll see that we're going to create some AI driven tutors and data analytics so that you can track progress. So you can track progress without, like I said, having to give one big or two big tests. You can track it continuously. Here's an example of personalized learning, AI powered learning plans. Example is adjust a student's learning path based on their performance, create an AI-driven study plan for a student struggling with chemistry. So if a student is struggling in a topic, you can adjust the learning plan to meet their needs. And flexible pacing. So because the student is got control over how quickly or slowly they need to learn, the importance of allowing students to progress based upon mastery, not based upon some, just because they have to move forward. But once they uh, get master a particular topic, then they can move on to the next thing. So here's a prompt that does that. Um, how do I create a self-paced learning environment for a middle school student? And of course, you can customize the content. So you can match learning material to the student interests, design a science project for a student interested in environmental studies. So if you have a student that's interested in a specific topic, you can create an environment where you can create content that is customized to what they're interested in. That's what we mean by personalized learning. Here's an example of project-based learning. Um, the student is interested in math and computer science. So, for example, a student interested in computer programming and may be a computer programming but doesn't understand algebra or doesn't understand the relevance of algebra in programming. You can create a project-based learning environment where you can combine those two projects together or those two topics together. And continuous learning based on feedback and evaluation. The importance of you can do regular assessments, not one big test where if you pass the test, you pass, and if you fail the test, you fail. You can design a continuous assessment strategy for example, high school history class. Here's an example of personalized learning in history. You can tailor the history lessons. If a student's interested in World War, here's a prompt that lets you tailor the history lesson based on an interest in World War II or military history or any type of history, African history, uh, uh, any type of personalized interest that the student has. Now, obviously, you will have had to assess what the student's interested in, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. So what will be the role of the educator? So what does the teacher do now? So the teacher acts as a facilitator. And what that means is they actually help the student determine what it is they like and how they can create an environment or topics that the student likes. They act as a guide and a mentor. And, that is really the important role, is an important role for a teacher to be in as a mentor, as opposed to an authority figure that just stands there and kind of teaches a topic, but actually helps the student understand a particular topic, and a guide and a provider of tailored resources. So the teacher can actually help the student tailor the resources or provide tailored resources that the student can use to fit their interests. Here's an example of blended learning, combining traditional and digital methods. So design a blended learning path for a student learning Spanish. So the challenges of personalized learning include overcoming obstacles. Obviously, um, will be some obstacles. For example, ensuring equity. In other words, making sure that the personalized learning isn't focused on one is equal across the board. Managing diverse learning paths. If you've got personalized learning, then you've got a bunch of learning paths, and we have to figure out how to how to manage that and integrate it effectively with technology. How do we integrate it effectively with technology? Here's an example of, one of the challenges is how do you create a learning plan for a student that has specialized needs. Here's an example of a personalized learning plan for a student that might be dyslexic. And here's a prompt that'll help you do that. So I want to encourage you to try some of these with ChatGPT. Try some of these prompts if you have a student um, or if you, frankly, want to learn something. Try these prompts and um, and see if they work for you. And um, I'm sure that you'll get something out of every one of them. So the future of personalized learning, this is only going to grow. AI isn't the past. It is the future of learning. So there'll be additional AI and machine learning strategies. Virtual reality is going to certainly impact education, and predictive analytics. In other words, AI will be able to predict based on what the student has previously done, what their future will look like. And that's really, really exciting. So in summary, remember, You can create a personalized learning path plan for your student today. If you have a student with special needs, you can create a learning plan for them. The role of technology is as a tool to help create this personalized learning environment. And your student will begin, or you will begin to improve continuously over time. And there'll be increased innovation via technology. So, one of the things that I actually believe that in the future, and I think the future is not that far away, uh, we'll start to see students use personalized learning as opposed to going to a school and sitting in a classroom with 20 or 30 people. So you want to get educators to embrace this personalized learning. They got to learn it just like we're trying to get you to learn AI. They got to learn AI tools like ChatGPT. And here's a prompt that'll help them implement a personalized learning in their classroom. But the important thing is that we start the process today. If this video was useful to you, subscribe, comment, and share it with your friends and family. We all need to start the process of creating additional income. Running a drop shipping e-commerce store is one of the best ways to do that, particularly if you narrow down your niche to a specific audience. In other words, pick your customer first, understand what your customer wants, and then sell them products that they want instead of you deciding what products you want and trying to sell them to people that don't necessarily want those products. So do me a favor, remember to subscribe, comment, and share this video with your family and friends. And tell me how I can improve. How can I make them better, more useful to you? And how you can learn AI to help you increase your income and help you do a bunch of different things that including have more fun and plan vacations. So we're focused on helping you understand how to use AI tools to become better at what you do. Thanks again. I'm Dwight. Learn AI now. It's not the future, it's the now.